York superstar as the pioneer woman, but what's a country mouse like her going to teach an Italian woman from Brooklyn about making meatballs? Let's find out. Can I just say, I love your show. I love you, and I love to cook. She's great. Sorry, continue.
But you have a really good point. What am I going to teach you about meatballs?
Well, let's talk about you for a second, because you were a dazzling urbanite in Chicago, and then you married a cowboy. I mean, I'm interested in how that worked. Does he bring his 10-gallon hat to bed with you, for example? How does that work out with a
I don't have to answer that. You know, actually, I'm from Oklahoma, and I went to school in Los Angeles and lived out there, and was actually making my way to Chicago. Took a pit stop in my hometown of Oklahoma, and laid eyes on this guy wearing Wranglers and sipping bottled beer. That it's just...
You just had to have him.
Yeah, I did. I saw him, and I just had to have him.
I've never been to Oklahoma. I saw the musical. Does that count?
It counts, yeah. It gives you a little bit of a taste. My husband and I sing "Let People Say We're in Love" all the time. So just kidding.
What about living on a ranch? Do you like living on a ranch?
I love it. You know, the reason I'm called the pioneer woman, it's kind of air quotes, the pioneer woman, because when I told my childhood friends that I was marrying a cowboy, they were like, "Wah!" And they fell on the floor laughing, because I was the last person anyone thought would live in the country. So they started calling me Pioneer Woman as a joke.
Okay, so you have a blog on the internet right now called The Pioneer Woman, and it gets over 23 million people a month. That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about the blog? And we need to start making the meatballs.
Yeah,
so
let's start making the meatballs. And I'm going to ask you with respect to help me, because I know you could probably out-meatball me, but we're just going to add all of these things to the meatball
With
mixture.
my hands?
Sure. Of course, you can't mix meat with a spoon,
I don't think you want me to do that. I have a cold.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Right,
we can just pretend, but basically you can help me throw things in. You don't have to mix it. So breadcrumbs, of course. I like to put heavy cream in my meatballs.
The whole thing?
Yeah, about half of that would be great. And then some parsley and eggs. And basically you can make whatever.
Shouldn't you beat these first?
You don't have to, because you're going to get in there with theoretically get in there with your hands. So
I have rubber gloves.
Yeah, put your gloves on.
Okay.
So the magic of these are that they're freezer meatballs.
Yes.
And I have 4 kids. One of them went to college, but I like to have freezer food because it's a safety net. If you're busy, you can pull something out of the freezer and have it ready. Yeah, go for it, Joy.
So my question,
we knew we were going to make you do that.
My question to you: Are things like this on the blog, or just in your new book?
Both. I have recipes on the blog and in the book. Yeah, just go for it. So basically, what you do is you form the meatballs in whatever size you want. There's Whoopi.
I know.
No, it's not Whoopi.
Right over here.
So we blend the meatballs together.
Yeah, we cook the meatballs completely, and then I put them on baking sheets and stick them in the freezer and flash freeze them.
That's so smart. If you already have meat made, then you can choose all kinds of things. So you said that since you can make meatballs in all kinds of flavors, can we make this sauce? Because
we are making sweet and sour meatballs, and these are great big meatballs. You can also make them small if you prefer. Go for it, Whoopi. I was hoping you'd be out here. I have pineapple sauce simmering away. Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is brown sugar.
Brown sugar. We have soy sauce and ketchup. And rice vinegar. You're doing a
rice vinegar.
Wonderful job over here.
Thank you.
Okay, and so this just simmers until what?
Then, Raven, put the...
Shall I throw this in here?
I love having all this help in the kitchen. It's wonderful. Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm just going to sit back and watch.
I've seen your show multiple times, and you have young children, and they're not always cooking with you. But like I said before, one of my favorite meals of yours is your eggs in a...
Egg in a hole.
Egg in a hole.
My husband's grandmother made those for him when he was a little boy, so it's a comfort food.
I love that.
So basically what I do is I spend an afternoon making freezer meatballs, and I make sometimes 250 meatballs.
That's a lot of meatballs.
Yeah, and then what I do is I freeze them, and I freeze them in packages of 25. And then you can make whatever sauce you want. We're doing a sweet and sour number. And you're doing a cornstarch slurry.
So we talked about this earlier, too. Can we just say this is not a cheating type of slurry?
I don't think it's cheating.
Because I'm from the South, and we do a roux.
Yeah, it takes longer that way. The slurry thickens things easier. And then once the sauce is nice and thick...
How did you get these balls so symmetrical? I mean, look at that. They're so symmetrical. It's like a perfect ball.
I can't believe I impressed an Italian woman regarding my
meatballs. Mine are never symmetrical.
You and me.
We're back together.
We need to put this sauce in here. You said they're still frozen meatballs, correct?
So what happens is you make the sauce, and then the frozen meatballs go right into it. And by the time the sauce is thickened and done, the meatballs are heated through. And the flavor of the meatballs kind of goes to the sauce. Yeah. And then we have other variations.
Yes, most definitely.
Barbecue meatballs with mashed potatoes. And you can simmer the meatballs in marinara sauce and make
hoagies. We all love
Whoopi's
those.
enjoying that over there.
She also has some pork sliders. You have some
Pulled
barbecue?
pork.
Pulled pork.
Just
See?
classic pulled pork.
Pulled pork.